The first thing I want to talk about is Class 241, baby. So, as you know, I got the beautiful and very lucky chance to be a Blackhat for 7th group, right? And Class 241 just ended, and I was honored to be voted for by the class as instructor of the cycle. So, they actually awarded me with an AAM at graduation, and like, okay, cool. I don't really care. AAM school, blah, like. RCOMs and AAMs, they've kind of lost their value with me because I remember like when I joined the Army, like you got RCOMs for like deployments and V devices and BSMs, and like now we all know in the Army culture, like if you win a Call of Duty tournament, I think I saw an RCOM given out for that. If you just go to a field rotation and just simply be a Joe, they hand you an AAM. Like I literally have 13 AAMs. Like whatever, dude. Never gonna wear them. I'm never even gonna wear the uniform ever. I'm never gonna wear dress blues again in the future. So like the whole handing me an AAM, whatever, I get ceremonial purposes. What meant the most to me and actually like made, because they told us like they voted like 3 days before class ended, so the guys are giving me crap like, oh, instructor of the cycle, but it actually does mean something to like, it means something to you as an instructor, because no matter what instructors like to act like, we act like we're cool, like, oh man, it sucks, I'm tired. You actually do love instructing. Like I do think the best job in the military is mentoring young men and women in everyone loves to like be the subject matter expert, and then when someone's really willing to pick up the information and really wants to learn it, and they come to you for that mentorship and shit, every instructor that like motivates them, it makes them happy. You know what I'm saying? Or like it triggers that thing in your body that being a mentor and a coach, if that makes sense. So it meant a lot to me. This being 7th group, USASOC, Jumpmaster course, we have Ranger instructors in there, we have Green Berets in there, we have Halo team, Jumpmasters in there, we got divers in there. The Air Force sent like 5 or 6 people. Best of the Air Force, that divers, SEER, there's SEER teachers, there's SEER specialists, what I'm saying? So they're instructors at SEER school, some divers in the mix. Like, this is a good quality group of NCOs getting ready to become Jumpmasters, and for them to distinguish me as the instructor of the cycle because, they felt I went above and beyond, meant a lot to me, coming from people like that. So it was a good feeling. It was kind of cool. I heard it was really close, and then all of a sudden, I kind of just took like a big-ass lead, so that like motivated me hearing that, and I appreciate it. I also told like a lot of the guys, like, I'm a Jumpmaster, instructor from Benning, and some of the guys were from Advanced Airborne School Bragg, and some of the guys were from USASOC, so we had that little banter back and forth. But I was trying to tell some of the guys that went through, it's like at Benning, and I loved when I went to Jumpmaster school. I felt like I got the intense experience, all that, but it's, we run things a little different in the SOCM course, but like the whole like coming in on weekends and staying after class, that wasn't a thing at Benning. Like when Benning ended, like the course day, it was go home, get in your study groups, shadow box. It wasn't like, all right, we'll stay after if anybody wants to stay. We'll come in on the weekends and civilians and teach PWAC, teach JMPI, go over sequence, go over nomenclature. Like that wasn't a thing. So it was something they offered here, and a lot of the instructors, not just me, came every weekend and did that, but I felt that that's what set us apart. But just recapping, like it kind of was everything I knew I wanted it to be. Like, I got the YouTube video up if you guys want to see what PWAC looked like, but giving a Jumpmaster the door to do their door checks for the first time ever, and like making them like have that confidence and instill that confidence in them was amazing. Like letting everybody who I had saw fight through JMPI and get to the end of the course, do their PWAC, practical work in the aircraft, grade, and get in the door and do the door check and own the door and be confident and excited, and then at the end getting to like send them out to jump. It was a great feeling. Like it was kind of everything I wanted it to be and more. And then our chief instructor, he wanted to jump on the last lift, so I got to do like one of our safeties in-flight rigged him, and I got to do an in-flight JMPI like right before he jumped. So I was just like, I literally everything, I got challenged with everything that day, but it was cool. It was really motivating. One of the little stories that I think you guys will find interesting that I did want to talk about. So when it comes down to JMPI, right? So Jumpmaster Personnel Inspection, right? It's the hardest test, one of the hardest tests I've ever taken in the military. And it is a very intense test that you take at this school, okay? Strictly because you're in a room with a Blackhat, and in this case 3 Blackhats, staring at you, watching your sequence, timing you, and listening for every deficiency that you're going to find. You have 3 jumpers and 5 minutes, okay? Now, the reason for that being, there's two reasons for that. Number one, it's a course, they got to induce some stress, and something to grade upon. Okay, I can't just say you have 3 jumpers in whatever time, because there's got to be something, there's got to be a bell to grade you on, right? There's got to be a bell curve. There's got to be a line drawn in the sand. So basically, 5 minutes came, and it also comes because if there is an in-flight rig and in-flight JMPI between a Jumpmaster team jumping into combat, that is a good time to balance it off of. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what you're taught is like, you know, we got to get 100 paratroopers in a C-130 or a C-17 and get somewhere with a small Jumpmaster team. 3 jumpers in 5 minutes. You know, they rig each other up, do JMPI quickly. That's what, you know, that's another standard that has been set. So basically, you walk in there as a Jumpmaster student and you're very nervous. You got 3 black hats staring at you. They give you the brief. You know the sequence. You know the time warnings. You know what the deficiencies are, but it's just finding them, okay? We're not going to tell you what the deficiencies are on the jumpers. You have to turn around and find them. So it's one of the more intense tests I've taken out of all the military schools I've been to, and I tried to let them know that. But basically, when the Jumpmaster's done, you know, you clock the time and you show them the stopwatch. So they're going to know if they made time. Sometimes it says over 6 minutes, over 5 minutes, you know, 5:30 something, 5:40, 6 minutes, and they're going to know they failed on time. But if they made time, and they might have missed some deficiencies, but if they made time, they're going to see that right away. And then you're going to go, okay, Jumpmaster, go stand over there. You're going to speak with the instructors. You're looking at the paper. You know if they didn't call or did call a deficiency. So you're going to call them back in, and you're going to kind of let them know, like, hey, you missed something. So when I went through Jumpmaster school, when I got my go, when I passed JMPI, the Jumpmaster instructor, he did something that was very memorable to me even to this day. I was a young 5 Jumpmaster. I went in 2016. But I remember this to this day. He was just like, God damn. He was like, second jumper, stand up, look at the back, look at that main closing loop, man. And I'm like thinking, oh my God, I missed the main closing loop cut, which is a major. And I look in there, and I, like, for the life of me, couldn't see anything. Like, it looked fine. And I looked kind of at him, and I'm like, son, this looks good. And he goes, yeah, you know what I see in there? I see a Jumpmaster. And I just, like, a wave of just, like, oh, my God, I did it. Like, I just turn around, and I, like, scream. I was like, fuck. I, like, just screamed because I just, like, needed to let it all out. But I appreciated that I finally did it. And, you know, he messed with me a little bit. But it's a little bit of a Jumpmaster rite of passage. Every Jumpmaster goes through that. They get that little bit of, like, hesitation, then told there to go. And it's something you'll never forget. So I didn't give out any goes damn near on JMPI. I just was being kind of getting the luck of the draw. I was getting nervous Jumpmasters. They were missing stuff. But by the time I ended up getting a Jumpmaster who was confident on, like, the 4th test, he ended up getting a go. And I was excited when he walked away because as instructors, like, we want to give goes. We want to make Jumpmasters. We don't want to hand it out, but we also are there to facilitate. We're not here to badge protect. So I was, like, very excited. He walked away. I got with the instructors, and I'm like, all right, that was a go. Like, he made time. He knows he made time. And he found everything. But I'm gonna do my little Jumpmaster piece. I want to do the rite of passage to him and pass the lineage on, right? So he comes in there, and I'm just like, jumper 2, stand up. And I'm like, Jumpmaster, go look at that main closing loop. And I just saw it, and I was just like, and then he, like, you know, gets away from me, and I'm like smiling. I'm like trying to hold it back. And he looks in there, and he goes, Sergeant, this looks good to me. And I'm like, look again. And he, like, looks again. He's, like, doing a full inspection of it. And then I just, like, leaned into his ear, and I was like, I see a Jumpmaster in there. And he lost his mind. So it was something, you know, to get that rush. He, like, gave me a hug, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like, I will never forget that. He'll never forget that. It was a cool moment for both of us. But I love being a Jumpmaster. Always have, always will. I'm gonna miss it when I get out. But there's nothing like being a Jumpmaster leader in a unit and actually just getting into it, because you even had, like, these Green Beret military freefall guys in there. And yes, jumping at 35,000 feet, oxygen mask, smaller team, in the air that longer, you know, wind direction, speedy, you know, turning, all that, you know, directing yourself to a smaller drop zone and having a much more beautiful landing. Yes, that is amazing. That is the cool guy, if you will. That's the pinnacle, right? But being a static line Jumpmaster, where you're going to see, you know, where our Army lineage actually comes from, like, all the way back to when we started airborne school and started jumping out of planes in the 40s, like, that's our lineage. Like, being a Jumpmaster and being a Black Hat, or the Black Hat airborne instructors and Sergeant Airbornes and the Jumpmaster instructors, like, that's our lineage. That's where we come from, being airborne, you know, qualified soldiers, and being in that 1% in the Army. So I'm just happy I got to be a part of that lineage. I'm happy I got to instruct that lineage, and I'm honored that the Class 241 thought, you know, I went above and beyond and deserved Instructor of the Cycle. And that meant a lot to me. And if you really know me, you know that means a lot to me. I don't really care what I got. It just means a lot to me to, you know, to see all my hard work coming to fruition, if that makes sense. So I want to say cheers to the airborne, cheers to the Jumpmasters, and if you're a leg, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. In the end, villains got a bill. Jumpmasters lead the way.